Hello and welcome to our second session. In our first session, we installed Node.js, we installed Git, and we also installed Visual Studio Code. So after installing all these packages, we have to now set up our project. And how are we going to set up our project? Here we are going to use a tool called VITE. Actually, the name is actually called as VITE. If you type it in Google, VITE, it brings you to this site called VITE. It is a French name. That's why we don't call it as VITE. It is called as VITE. And here we are going to use this tool to build our application. VITE is a platform on which we are going to build our application. You have VITE, you have Webpack, you have React Native, we have so many tools available. So one of the tool is VITE, and we are going to initialize and build our complete project using VITE. Now to begin with, I am going to come to my H drive and I am going to create a new folder. You can create anywhere you want, and I am going to call this as my underscore 3D underscore profile. Type your name. I am going to type it as Satvik underscore 3D underscore profile. So I have created a folder. Now the next thing I am going to do is we are going to launch Visual Studio Code. So double click here and launch Visual Studio. So you are welcomed with this welcome screen, and now we are going to first open this folder in Visual Studio Code. So for this, either you can go to file and choose open folder, or otherwise come to your Explorer and select the folder. In H I have created this Satvik underscore 3D underscore profile folder. I will just drag it into Visual Studio Code, and once I drag it, it will ask, do you trust the author? Click here, I trust the author, and you can see an empty folder here without any files. And now we are going to actually build our project here using commands in command line. And actually in Windows, we make use of the command line tool, which we call as, for example, if you come to search and type CMD, this opens command prompt. Either you can make use of this command prompt on the Windows, or you have another facility called Windows PowerShell. You can either use Windows PowerShell or you can use the command prompt. Now the next thing is, I am going to close this, and in Mac we are going to use terminal, Mac and Linux. Instead of every time typing the command in this command prompt and coming back to Visual Studio Code, the beauty of Visual Studio Code is Visual Studio Code has inbuilt terminal. So if you come to the top here, you have terminal here. Click on this and call new terminal. And when I click on new terminal, at the bottom you can see this terminal opens. And here if you see right now on the right hand side, the terminal that has opened is a PowerShell terminal. So I can, if I click on this arrow here, see you have PowerShell terminal, Git bash terminal, and command prompt terminal. See, this Git bash terminal is used, say for example, sometimes what happens is you are working on Windows and your team member is working on Mac, means some commands in the command prompt changes from Windows to Macintosh. So in that case, we use the Git bash, which is a Linux terminal. Okay, it will be common both in Mac and in Windows. We use the same Git bash terminal so that the command can be saved. So right now I am not using Git bash. Let us leave it at PowerShell only. So we have this PowerShell. So using this, the very first thing we are going to do is we are going to use a command called npm. npm stands for Node Package Manager. So using this npm, we are going to install all the packages. So to test whether npm is running here, once again let us test it. Type npm, then -v and type, we are getting an error. So I have purposefully created this error. So As soon as you start and if you type npm and it is saying the term npm is not recognized means, see, whenever you get an error like this, the best way to find the solution is you just Google it. npm not recognized Visual Studio Code terminal. If you type it like this, it will give you the solution. Basically, always depend upon the Stack Overflow solution, because someone else would have got that error and they would have got the answer. Right now I am not using this. I know what is the issue is. The issue I have created purposefully. What the problem that has occurred here is, we have installed Node.js, but we have not added the path to the variable. So if you doesn't add the path, I had told about this in the previous session. So for this, for example, I will come over here, and if I come to settings, Windows settings, come in Windows, choose settings, come to system, scroll down to about, and here you have one advanced system settings. So click on this, and when you click on this advanced system setting, you have one facility here, environment variables. So click on this, and here you have one variable name path, and if you click on edit, you can now see we added path to VS Code, we added path to Git in the last session, and we have one path going to Satvik app data roaming npm. But apart from this, we also have to add a path to Node.js. Actually, in our machine, if you when we install Node.js, in program C drive, program files, you have a folder called Node.js, and in this you will have this node executor. This path is not there. So for this, I will come back to environment variable. I will type new to add a new path, click on browse here, and this time I will come to my PC, C drive, program files, and in program files I am going to come here to Node.js. So scroll down to Node.js and click OK, and again I will check it. So this path is added, click OK, again OK here, and click OK. The path has been added. Now if I come back to Visual Studio Code and if I press the top arrow, whenever you click on the top arrow of your keyboard, the previous command that you had entered will appear there. If I press down, the next command will come. So I can, like that, I can go through the history of command. Right now I had applied only one command. So I am seeing npm_v, and again if I press it, again it is showing the error. The reason is, after we have added the environment variable, we have to close Visual Studio Code and then relaunch it. After you launch it now, again here I will first press clear to clear everything, and now I will press npm-v, and if I press enter, now npm is working. Okay, so the npm is working, and the command that we are going to now use is, we are going to say npm and then create. We are going to create a new project. What project we are space, using which we are creating the project, now using VITE, and then I have to give the version number. For version number, I will type at, shift and 2 at, and type latest. And after this, when I press enter now, it is now going to ask, do you need to install the following packages? You click Y and press enter. It is saying VITE project, press enter. It is asking which framework you want to use, vanilla or Vue or React. I am going to select React. So selecting React, I press enter. It is asking whether you are going to use TypeScript or JavaScript. We are going to use JavaScript. So I will press enter, and now immediately you can see you have a folder called VITE project created here, and if I open this, you have all the files present over here. see, already I have Satvik underscore 3D profile, and inside that it has created another folder. So I doesn't need it. I want to create it in the root itself. So I will select this entire folder and I will delete it. I will remove the entire thing out. I will press clear here, and this time to create the project in the same folder, I am going to type another command. So I am doing this so that you can see all the possible options when you build the project. So this time I am again going to type npm create and again VITE at latest version. But after this, what I will do is I am going to add a relative path. Relative path means one period and one forward slash. Once you add this period and forward slash, it is not going to create a new folder, it is going to create the project in the same folder. And I will press space, and this time I know I want it to be, instead of it asking me the option, I want to tell in the command line itself, create me a project for React. So for that, what I will do is, I will add 2 hyphen and then again 2 hyphen, okay, then I am going to type template, okay, and what is the template that I want to use? React. So once I type this command, and now if I press enter, and the package name Satvik 3D profile, previously it had asked for VITE project and it had created a subfolder. Now it is asking the same folder name. I can't change this. Press enter. So as soon as I press enter, you can now see here automatically some files have been created here. A public folder has been created, an src is created, git ignore. So you have so many files automatically created. One file which is very important that you have to observe is this package.json file, and here it contains all the content or all the things that we are using in our application. So right now here you have the name, whether it is private, it is set to true, type module. So you have scripting, development platform is div, then dependency React and React DAM, and apart from this it has installed so many dependencies. So these are softwares that has been already installed, that are going to get installed. It has not been installed. When I clicked create VITE at latest, and when I asked it, it just created some folder, and the main thing that we are concerned here is this package.json file. And I am going to show you how this package is going to get updated. Before I start the install, I want one more package now. The package that I am now going to use, say I will come back here, we have installed VITE, we are going to use tailwindcss. So if I click on the first link here, see this tailwindcss is a CSS package. Now in our previous lessons, if you go through it, in CSS we were using Bootstrap, and now Bootstrap is outdated. It is replaced by this beautiful CSS package which we call as tailwindcss. What is its advantages? As we build the project, you can see it. And here if I want this to install, see I don't know how to install, say you doesn't know anything, you can come directly to docs here. So if you come to docs, it clearly says here how to install. It is saying npm install -d tailwindcss. So I can just copy this command as it is from here, from the document. I will minimize this. I will come to my terminal here, right click. As soon as I right click, it got pasted. So if I press enter, see that package will be installed. So it takes some time for that package to get installed. Okay, it will take a few seconds, and now you can see 344 packages were installed. And as soon as I installed Tailwind, now what happened is, in your package.json, if you come over here, in dependencies this tailwind CSS and its version number is added. And now if you observe here, a new folder has been created called node_modules, and if I open this, all the 344 packages that requires to be used with this are installed here, and in this entire list you also have tailwind CSS. So if I scroll down, you can see here you will have somewhere here tailwind CSS. So you need not open this and edit. You need not edit anything in this node module. I am just showing it to you. We are not going to touch it. Okay, these are all the ready-made packages that is getting installed into our project. So once installed, I am back to my documentation, and here I will select the second command now, npx tailwind.css init. So now I will come back here, I will just right click, it gets pasted, and if I press enter, it also gets initialized. So tailwind CSS has now been installed. Like this, I have to install some another 8 to 10 packages. So instead of typing this one by one, in one command I can call all the packages. Say for example, for that what I am now going to do is I am going to come over here and I am going to call for this npm install. See, now I am going to call this command npm install, and after install, the very first thing I want to call is, now one thing is I am calling one older version package, and that is, this is React tilt. I am using one effect of a tilting effect. So for this I am calling a older version package. So for that, to avoid any problem, I am going to use a keyword 2 hyphen and I will call legacy. I am going to type legacy, and after that I type peer, legacy peer, and then DEX means dependencies. So legacy peer dependencies, I am going to add this, and then I am going to press space, and now I am going to call my packages one by one. Sorry, it should be at React, and in React I am going to call 3 because we are installing 3.js, React 3 and /fiber. So we are going to use this package. Again press at, and we are going to now install hyphen away. I am going to now use 3, and I am going to use a package called DREI. What these packages do, I have explained it clearly in a PDF document which I have provided you in the link. Then after this React DREI, we are going to do some mathematical calculation. For that, I am going to call a package called MAATH, okay, and then I am going to type React, then hyphen tilt, React tilt, and then the next we are going to install is React vertical. We are going to create a timeline. For that I will use this React vertical timeline hyphen component. Be careful about the spelling, React vertical timeline component. And after that, for sending email .email.js, so we are going to use this service email.js and this service in browser. Then I am going to install framer hyphen motion and then type React, and the last one I am going to install is React router DOM. Okay, so these are all the packages we are installing. So one is React 3 fiber, 2 is React 3 DREI, third is math, fourth is React tilt, fifth is React vertical timeline component, then at email.js browser, framer motion and React router DOM. So after typing all this package name, just press enter, and now what happens is you have to wait for about a minute till all the packages are downloaded and installed. say you can see all the packages are installed. So now if there is any error, it will show here. It shows here 76 packages have been added and audited 421 packages, 128 packages are looking for funding. So all the details it gives, like then you have all these packages installed. I am going to type npm, then I am going to use the command run dev. Dev means development version, and if I press enter, now immediately you can see a web address http localhost 5173 it is showing. Now I will press Ctrl and click on this link, and when I click on this link, you can see in the browser our application is running. Okay,